Harlem and Wolf, like I say, the company that supposedly says they own the Titanic, they didn't own the Titanic. They didn't own the yard. They were they basically scrapped it out or something like that. And like I said, they bought originally. I had this refurbishing thing where you'd scrape off barnacles, and basically I had built a lot of wooden ships, so I was kind of taking care of repairing them and fixing them and all that other stuff. And I had a really good and I had a repair yard with a really good reputation and everything else like that. Anyway, after years and years and years and years, I had moved on and built all these other, basically dry docks and big ships. So I wasn't really doing so much small ships anymore. I was doing Titanic-sized ships. So basically, I really didn't care about my little repair yard, which had actually been very very even people even like loved the repair yard because our prices were low, or because like I said, I had originally sold the people those ships, and built those ships in other yards. So they came only to me and came only to my yard, which is basically was a small little Harlem and Wolf repair yard. It's just a barnacle scraping yard, basically. Nothing much. And the Irish would say that too. It's just a barnacle scraping yard and general repair for the older boats. And it was a little yard. And when I had it, wasn't Harlem and Wolf. It was called something else. Um, anyway, I had it, and basically, and people always came to me because we did really good work and everything else like that. Anyway, after years and years and years, I was no longer in the small boat industry. I was in the Titanic-sized boat industry and doing, building great big huge cargo ships and warships and all kinds of submarines and everything else like that. So I had these giant dry docks. So I had moved on, you might say. Anyway, so I sold there's this little patch of land and there's some black people, and I thought, well, I'll give it to them at a deal or something for like cheap, like a couple $100 or whatever. Just loan them the money, just loan them the yard, and loan them a little bit of money to basically pay for upkeep or whatever. So I gave them a little bit of money, and gave them and let them use the yard and said, pay me back someday. So basically, so they took it over and they named it to the Harlem and Wolf shipyard, and basically it became like the ghetto. Black people came and basically worked there, and pretty much, and one guy bought a car and basically drove around like he owned the place and got guns and basically was living on his black people, pretty much. And just basically trying to muscle in on the Irish and British and Germans that were there. So anyway, good people left the area that is around the Harlem and Wolf yard, which was like it was down by the very end, I think. At least that's what all the Irish would say in what became the ghetto. And like I say, the buildings fell apart. They didn't repair anything. There, it was never meant to be a living space, but they started using it for living space. And so they would just throw their poop outside and piss in the street, basically. And basically, it became like this nasty smelling place, pretty much. It was once a respectable yard and everything else like that, but it got degraded and destroyed. And basically, and then they started trying to muscle in on the LS shipyard. Like I said, there very quickly became a group of 30,000 black people, pretty much. And they wanted better pay, they wanted this, they wanted that. They felt entitled. And they tried to kill they made an attack on the president of the LS shipyard, which was a German, and a very nice one, or an Englishman. And they tried to rape his wife, or did kill his wife, basically, or killed him. I forget exactly who got killed exactly, but one of them got killed, and then they came after the daughter and the wife and all that. So anyway, it was really bad. And like I say, my people witnessed the whole thing outside. Like, this car pulls up, these two cars pull up, basically, and these guys get out, and they say, hey, come over here, I want to talk to you, or whatever, and talk to some of the workers or whatever. And they start beating on them or something like that. And then my guy comes out with his gun or whatever, because he has a gun, he's a manager. And there's three buildings. There's building 1, building 2, this out front, building 3 at the LS shipyard. And basically he goes out there, and I think they're looking for LS or something like that. They want to talk to him. I'm LS. But anyway, and the guy says he's not here or whatever, because I wasn't there. So anyway, Anyway, basically, a couple people get shot basically, and I think my guy gets shot. My manager gets shot that was working there. I think, and one of the black guys drives away and is driving away, and my guy pulls out his gun, and he's already wounded, and he pulls out his gun and shoots the other guy in the head basically, because you can see through the windows of the whole Model Ts. And anyway, he slumps over and crashes the car. Anyway, it's the black people, of course. Anyway, they covered it up later on, but my guy saw the whole thing, and he goes to the police and everything else like that. And anyway, though, there's threats on his there's threats on his name, on his life, and all that other stuff. And the black people are like, we stick together, blah blah. And basically, the Irish have to protect him because the Irish love this older guy. He's been running Building 3 for a long time. And he's a good guy. So anyway, and I support him too because I'm like, well, it looked like you didn't have any choice, and you did. They had guns too, and he it was just self-defense. So I was like, well, I'm behind him. I mean, self-defense. And anyway, though, the black people were like, he wanted him in jail, blah, blah. And I was like, no, he's not going to jail. He didn't do anything wrong. Anyway, and they say, well, he killed 3 people. Well, it's like, well, you shot him. And, I mean, as you were running away, and he, it's like, hey, you do that kind of stuff, and that's what happens. Anyway, apparently this initiates a race war. So, anyway, apparently I initiated a race war right then. Between blacks and me. Anyway, they covered it up, tried to make it look like it was the Irish or look like it was someone else, but it was blacks. And anyway, like I said, I don't have anything against blacks really, but I mean, other people would have more against them than I would. Anyway, they've done all this stuff saying Japanese did this, Japanese did that, and I was like, well, like the Japanese said we did nothing wrong, and I said, well, apologize anyway. So they apologized anyway. Like I said, you're never at fault for apologizing for something you didn't do. So, anyway, black people would say, well, that means they're guilty of something. It's like, no, they're not. The Japanese nor the Chinese ever really did anything all that bad. They would never do anything that bad. They know me. Like I said, just like the Germans. They came here to this planet to tell people basically who I was and what I was and what would happen to them if they did cross me. And black people are like, oh, he's not so tough. It's like, well, anyway, though, like I say, there are certain people that will never be seen again, and who are not even, they're billion trillions of light years away. And anyway, they tried to find where they would be going or tried to recover them. It's like, no, you're never going to see those people again. Anyway. What I could have done to people was far, far removed from what anybody else could do to people. People years ago would be, they were fucking scared of me. I mean, it's true. I was a pretty damn scary thing.